Hey, what's up everybody? Dylan here from Iceberg TV. Today I have a pretty cool drop from Dynamic Discs. These aren't out yet. These are 3 new disc prototypes that Eric McCabe reached out to me, 2010 world champ. He said they got 3 new discs coming out over at Dynamic. They got the Heist, the Motive, and the Treason. And I also have a little kind of paper description of everything. The Heist, at first glance, seems like the most pro level disc, kind of destroyer-like. I have all the flight numbers on the form here. We've got the Motive here, which feels like a lightweight 8-speed fairway driver. And then we have the Treason, which feels like an kind of neutral flying 10-speed. And I'm really excited to throw this one. This one feels and looks really awesome. But the Heist, 12.5, 1.5 turn with a 2 fade. The Motive, they are lightweight. It's an 8.6 -3.2, so I'm expecting a lot of turn. And then the Lucid Treason, 10.5 -3.1. Yeah, let's just throw them out. We'll have power shots and see how they're flying. We'll throw the Motive first, then we'll throw the Treason, and then we'll throw the Heist. The Motive, it feels like it's going to be like pretty flippy, pretty soft plastic as well. Ooh. That's not nearly as understable as I was expecting. That flew really nice. Nice little half power shot. Let's check out the Treason here. Okay, Eric. Okay, that's just like the farthest flying disc I've ever thrown in my life. What the heck? That was insane. And then we've got the Heist here. This one feels like it's gonna be more stable. Okay, first impression, these are really nice. Let's go throw them a few more times. All right, so that Treason actually flew super far, very much so reminds me of the Trail, but it might even fly a little bit farther than the Trail. And the numbers were 10.5 -3.1. Maybe a touch more stable than that, but it says betray your expectations. The Treason redefines what a 10-speed can do for players with slower arm speeds. Designed to deliver easy distance with minimal effort, the Treason's understable flight is perfect for hyzer flips, long turnover shots, and tailwind drives. Whether you're stepping up from fairway drivers or need a reliable bomber that won't fade out early, the Treason offers controllable turn with a smooth finish. Trust in the glide, embrace the turn, and commit Treason. Very cool. So here's the golf green area. We just well outdrove that and threw it well over 400 feet. Landing up on the hill here right next to the basket. This thing might be one of the best drivers I've thrown in a long time, but let's get a few more throws. A quick shout out to bergsdiscsports.com. The V4s, we have a sale going on right now. If you use my 20% off code, ICE20, I believe they're only like $167 right now, which is an absolutely insane price for the amount of quality you're getting. So make sure you put in your orders for the bags. If you've been waiting to buy one for a sale, now's the time. That's the best deal you're going to get going forward. I actually haven't seen them priced this low in a long time. Let's throw all these discs a few more times. I don't want to turn the Motive over into the water. Let's put it on a bit more hyzer here and see if we can't get a little juicy flip up. Oh, hit the tree, please. Okay, not in the water. So that thing is really flippy. I'm thinking this one's going to be my favorite, the old Treason. Another hyzer flip kind of disc. That thing is sick. Definitely understable though. I think they nailed the flight numbers. Then we have the Heist. I think I can trust the Heist the most. Oh, the Heist is sick. Not wanting to stay super high in the air, definitely need to give it a little more height. Let's throw it up in the air a little bit more next time. But the Heist is really nice as well. Kind of has that beat-in destroyer, wraith kind of flight characteristic, which is obviously something that you need out on the course, and I'm super into it. Now that Motive, the super flippy white one that turned over there, says, get into the game with confidence. The Motive is your go-to for easy distance and effortless control, designed with newer players in mind. This beginner-friendly 8-speed. High glide, gentle turn, dependable finish. I don't know if I'm personally going to get the dependable finish, but I also don't think that's a disc that's designed for someone like me who At this point, I pretty consistently can throw 400-foot shots. Probably good for rollers, probably good for anything where you need something super understable, but it's definitely geared more towards beginners. And I think for a beginner, it doesn't have quite as wide a rim as most distance drivers, and it also comes in the 150-gram class and below. I think this is going to be a really great option for new players, juniors, and players just getting into disc golf. And we got a little bit of wind coming in, headwind direction, and I do think that's not going to be great for the motive, but let's try and line up on the right side of the tee here, throw a hyzer out to the left, and see if we can't get it to really get a nice big turn. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's absolutely crushed. Man, that was actually a really nice flight. I'm surprised it held up in this wind. I actually think I can do a very similar type of line with the trees in here. Oh, it snuck through. Both those discs got some serious turn to them. The heist, not so much. I feel like this heist is going to be a fan favorite almost right away. It's got a nice subtle dome, not super wide wing, probably 12 or 13 speed, I'll have to check the paper, but also gets a nice little flip up, which you don't always see in a distance driver. So on hyzer, you can see it's just going to go and swing over to the left. Let's get out there and throw a few more shots. Those first two shots were really nice. Probably even still need a little more height. Got to put them up in the air. All right, and this is the description for the heist right here. It's a 12.5 minus 1.52. Every good heist runs on precision, and the dynamic disc heist is no different. The straight flying distance driver is built for controlled power, smooth lines, and clean finishes. Whether you're threading a fairway or dialing in your go-to bomber, the heist delivers dependable point-and-shoot flight that won't betray your release. When the job calls for distance without risk, it's time to pull out the heist. Very cool description, and I also think all three descriptions of each disc are extremely accurate. And I think that's a big part of the marketing process when you release new products, is actually having good flight numbers and a good quality description. Nothing's worse for a new player. They buy a disc and it flies nothing like the flight numbers would indicate. And there's a lot of brands that have done this in the past. Flight numbers in the modern era of disc golf have gotten a lot more accurate. But Dynamic has done a great job here. I think the flight numbers are dead on for each disc. And that's a really great jumping off point when you plan on releasing new products, like they're about to. This heist is really nice. I think a lot of people are really going to like the heist. Same with the Treason. It's not like a do-it-all disc. It's a disc that has a very specific purpose. Very useful where I play, where you don't have a lot of ceiling and you need to throw like straight pushing hyzer flips. Most of the courses I play require shots like that, Hornet's Nest, Nevin. You need to be able to keep the disc on a rope the whole way, and you don't want a ton of fade at the end. That's where discs like the Treason really come in. And I think the Motive, it's a disc that I'll just keep on the shelf for if I have a new friend, you know, trying out disc golf for the first time. Or maybe if I want to work on my roller, something like that. But this is a disc that's going to get a little squirrely on me, and I'm not exactly convinced I can trust it, even though I just threw such a cool shot with it just a few seconds ago. But let's put it on a lot of hyzer and see if we can't keep it in the gap here. Oh, when you hit it right, it's pretty cool, but you can see, put on quite a bit of hyzer, still got a big turn in the mid-flight, kind of still burned over, kind of, sort of. Didn't roll, but just not like I'm going to throw a mid-range or a putter if I want that kind of line. So not really a disc for me, but I also don't think it's a disc was designed for me. The Treason, on the other hand, I think this disc was scientifically designed for me specifically. Oh, I just needed to stay in the air a little bit longer. Maybe it's just a touch. That -3 is exactly right. That's the perfect flight numbers for that disc. That -3 turn is exactly what you want out of a -3. So if I got airspace to play with and I needed dragging left to right, like super distance drive, that is a solid disc for that. Definitely like an understable complement to my trail. Not quite as stable as the trail, especially the new trail I put in my bag recently, but just a tick or two more understable. All right, last throw at the heist. Let's throw it nice and flat, nice and hard. I mean, she's plenty stable for me. I saw some people throwing these on Instagram and getting them to hold huge turns, but they're starting it way more to the left on a bit more angle. I don't quite have the room to do that. And I mean, super reliable distance driver, feels nice in the hand. Good quality side profile with a slight dome. I really think the Heist is going to be a fan favorite. And then that yellow 10-speed also I think will be a fan favorite. That was the, I need to get used to the names, the Treason. I think the Treason and the Heist are big winners, and they're gonna be good sellers. And I think the Motive, we'll see how that one pans out, but the Heist and the Treason, really solid drops. Shout out to Eric McCabe and Dynamic for sending me the discs for today's video. They all released the Heist on May 29th, the Motive on July 31st, and the Treason on August 28th. So those are the release dates for everything. I'm sure we'll have probably some of them over at discgolfdealsusa.com/icebergtv. But if you're interested in not just Dynamic, but any other brand, you can save 10% on any brand, even MVP and Axiom, over at discgolfdealsusa.com/icebergtv. To get the discount, you have to use that URL or click the link in the description below. Stay humble, live with gratitude. I'll catch you in the next one, and take care.